Start in about 2 minutes or less than. All right, everyone, we're going to get started. I want to thank everybody for attending. I know things are running a little late, I think, because of the recent weather we had here in Dallas. So that's the reason we're just getting a little bit of a late start. But I can see people are still streaming in. So grab food, grab drinks that are in the refrigerator if you didn't see them. Please, everybody, make yourself comfortable and welcome. And I want to thank you and welcome you to the Dallas Lunch and Learn. We have a great topic for you guys today. Today, our featured speaker is Andrew Bang with the topic of why flips fail, which I think is definitely some information worth staying on top of in this day and age, especially with a lot of the challenges that people find with regard to that endeavor. Before we begin, just want to go through a couple of the slides of Quest. With us, it's all about kind of taking control of your financial future by using the self-directed IRAs. And just again, a note of who Quest Trust Company is. We are the largest self-directed IRA custodian in the state of Texas. We offer people the ability to invest in alternative assets. Alternative assets include things like real estate in the sense of a fix and flip or a rental property, an Airbnb. It also incorporates things like promissory notes, oil and gas, private company stock. And we're going to have a great example of that a little later today with our featured sponsor, who's going to talk about an opportunity in that area. But it could be crypto, other entities, multifamily, etc. So in terms of Quest, one thing to just bear in mind, Quest does not actually sell investments. Okay. We don't offer tax, legal, or investment advice, but what we do is act as the IRA account administrator. So the virtue of the self-directed IRA is you set it up, you get it funded, then you get to decide the asset that you wish to invest in, along the lines of what I was describing a moment ago. Any of those types of private alternative assets are the options you have available in your self-directed IRA, and we administer it after we make the purchase at your direction for your IRA. And Quest has 20,000 clients that we are servicing nationwide currently. And interestingly, right now, many of our clients are sitting on undirected cash. The reason we want to mention that is that here at Quest, we also like to be leaders in education and networking, but the networking opportunities that we offer give you the option and the ability to contact some of these people who are sitting on that undirected cash and potentially look to them as investors for projects that you may be working on yourself. Now, the types of accounts that can be self-directed are any types of IRAs. I get asked the question all the time. I'm looking at your application, but I don't see self-directed IRA on there. You're not going to see it because self-directed is just a marketing term. And it basically means that you are, again, using a private alternative asset of your selection. So the IRAs are always going to be the same. So on the personal side, we have the traditional, we have the Roth. The business side, you can utilize as well with a SEP or a simple or even the solo 401k. And then we also have the specialty plans, the health savings accounts and the Coverdale education savings accounts. All of those are under the umbrella of tax advantaged accounts, and all of them can be used for the purposes of self-directing. Another reason why this is kind of important to bear in mind is that a lot of these accounts can be for not only yourself, but for your spouse, maybe even children. You have the ability to partner these various types of accounts on deals that you're making. And as you can imagine, some of the balances for things like an ESA or an HSA might be a little lower, but it's a great way for you to bring something else along for the ride, so to speak, on something that could be a highly appreciable deal. All right. So just remember, we've got a lot of education, not only that we do live, but there are tremendous amounts of information online through our education center. You can use the QR code and scan it. Don't forget our live events here in Dallas, lunch and learn like this. Also, this Tuesday is going to be our self-directed IRA social. We have another featured speaker who will be there. That one is in the evening. It's 6:30 to 8:30, and it will be this Tuesday. Also, for those of you who are not in the Texas region, we do many events online. And again, those are always available and open. Often also have deal pitching as part of them. So a great way that you can network beyond just the local market that you may have. This clicker is rather challenging. All right. Okay. Last couple of things I just want to mention. If you are currently an account holder, you have the ability to refer business to us. If you do, make sure that they mention that they know you as a Quest account holder, because that gives a twofold benefit. One, to the new account holder, they get a discount off of their account opening fee, which is normally $100. Also, there's a referral credit that goes back to you as the Quest client, bringing in someone new. That's an unlimited benefit, and everybody can use it. I've had clients who've paid for other fees with the amount of referrals that I've gotten from them. Couple of just last items. Don't forget, we've got our Masters of Tax Avoidance conference coming up shortly in Houston toward the end of this month. The focus on this is going to be oil and gas, but there's going to be plenty of other information on all various topics. Last, getting in touch with us, a lot of ways you can do that. First of all, through the Quest website, you can always go into the chat feature and speak to an IRA specialist. You can also just contact us directly, either through our phone number, our email, which is IRA Specialists at questtrustgut.com, or check out our website. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can easily just, again, use the QR code that goes to a Calendly schedule where you can just go in, pick a time, and we will give you a call. And again, just other resources we have online through our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. All previous presentations also are always archived. So if you don't get the chance to attend a webinar when it's scheduled live, or an event such as this or our social, you can always go on to our YouTube channel. You will find the archives of that event and many, many others going back years, actually. All right. Now, we're going to get started. I'm going to invite Andrew up. He's going to begin his topic of why flips fail, and I'll give him just a few minutes to also introduce himself.
Thanks, Steve. All right. This is great. I love collaborating with Quest. This is my 4th time speaking with them. Just a little bit about my background, not a lot, just so you know where I'm coming from and who I am. I graduated from Arizona State University with an accounting degree back in the day. I was a public accountant for 6 years, and that led me to 2008. Now, the whole time I was an accountant, I was trying to get out of being an accountant. I didn't like it at all. 2008, the real estate market tanks, especially in Phoenix, Arizona. Home prices are dropping, and a friend of mine makes an offer on a property in South Phoenix. She makes a short sell offer. She was trying to buy a property short of what the bank owes on the property, and she offers $190. and the bank says no. And she had a real estate agent that knew about trustee auctions, and this house just happened to be going up for trustee auction the next week, foreclosure. She goes to the trustee auction. She buys the house for $176,000. So I hear about this and I say, well, there's something wrong there. Why would the bank say no to 190 one day and then a week later accept 176,000? Not only that, there was multiple offers on this house at 190. She wasn't the only person that wanted it. So I go down to the trustee auctions. I kind of learn about the process. And then I convinced someone who had a lot more money than me to trust me with their money and start bidding on these properties. And in 3 months, I flipped 5 properties, and I stopped being an accountant and I started flipping homes full time. So by 2011, I'd flipped over 100 homes, and I'd gotten involved in other strategies like wholesaling, direct to owner, and it kind of opened up this world of real estate investing to me. I started doing some private money loans in 2010, keeping flipping as my focus. Boomerang Capital is one of the hard money lenders I used when I was flipping. And then 2018, I decided I wanted to stop flipping homes as my focus, as my main income. I wanted to go on the lending side. So I wanted to lend money to those who were flipping homes. And so I partnered up with Boomerang Capital, and it's been a great partnership ever since. One of the reasons I went with them is they said, if you come with us, you'll be our exclusive lender in Texas. So I'm based out of Arizona, but I'm here in Texas about every other week. I do a lot of traveling. But this is my background. So I flipped about 350 homes over the last 14 years. And then I've funded over the last 2.5 years, about 1,100 homes right here in Texas. And so I've taken everything I've learned from when I was flipping homes, and I've combined it with everything that I've seen other investors do wrong when I've lent them money. And that's kind of this half hour that I've put together here of everything that can go wrong. And this is me the other day in the parking lot. So I look down, and I'm about ready to walk into my office, and I've got 2 different colored shoes on. And I'm like, man, I sure was not paying attention when I put my shoes on this morning. And I relate this to people that are flipping homes. They get into a property, and they're looking at the wrong things. They're paying attention to the wrong things, and before they know it, they've got 2 different colored shoes on. Oh, this is my wife here. But so here's a home that I've got just a quick few of examples. This presentation is not about the obvious. If you buy a home for the right price, put the rehab into it, and it has a good ARV, you're going to make money on it. This is one of those examples here, property in Garland. They're buying it for $265, putting 53 into it with the ARV of 415. And their cash to close about 52,000. My loan on it would be 270. They're going to make about 56,000. This is just a normal flip that we see every day. What can go wrong once you find a property that you can buy it for the right price? You've estimated the rehab, and it has a good ARV. That's what I'd like to talk about. Another one in Houston. Let me show you something where something went wrong. This house is in Sherman, up north of us. So there's a partnership here, Marcus and Ed. It's a very common partnership I see. Marcus is the contractor, excellent contractor. Ed is the money guy, and he has the experience of flipping homes and finding homes. So you got friends. One of them is in charge of finding the home and the money. The other one is in charge of remodeling the property. I liked Marcus a lot. They came down to Houston when I was there. I showed him around homes there. I liked his work in Dallas, so much so that I was referring him to other investors to use him as a contractor. They bought about 6 homes, did well on all of them. So we liked Marcus and Ed, so we started lending to them on multiple properties at the same time. And this is one of the deals here. They bought it for $145,000. They only put about 30 into it, but they did a full rehab. This is me walking the property. They have a renter in there now, but you can see it's a nice remodel. And Ed has we have 6 properties out at the same time with them, 6 loans, and Ed has a heart attack. He's in the hospital. And at the same time, they miss a payment. So I call up Marcus and I'm like, hey, I know Ed's in the hospital and we're hoping he recovers, but you guys missed a payment. And he goes, well, I wasn't handling the finances at all. That was what Ed did. He paid, he did the rehab draws, the construction draws. He handled the down payments, the monthly interest. So I'm like, well, I understand that, but it's time to get involved. So Marcus looks at the books and they're a mess. They're not organized at all. And they have the property listed at $250, which would be a nice profit, but it's not selling. And another week goes by, and he still hasn't figured out, where he's going to make this payment. It's like money all of a sudden ran out, and they receive an offer at $220 for this property, which would be a nice profit. I'm like, hey, let's take this offer. You could sell this one, catch up all these other loans. And he goes, well, I can't take it because I would lose money at $220. Well, it turns out that Ed has taken seconds on all these properties. He's taken second liens, not only to cover the down payment, but to help with the construction overages and get the rehab started. But he hasn't kept the finances together on each property. So he'd take a second on one property, and that money would go towards rehab of another property. And so all this money is commingled between these properties. And what happens is we end up taking back all 6 properties. And I learned a valuable lesson about the partnership. Each partner should have a defined role. They should be held accountable to the other partners, and there should be full transparency to everyone. The partnership agreement is very important before the flip gets started. You need to list out what each partner's responsibility is going to be, what weekly or daily or monthly tasks will be set up to hold that partner responsible to the other partners. And there needs to be full transparency about what's going on with the bank account, who's paying the investors, who's paying the rehab. Here we go. Oh, all right. This one's in New Orleans. It's a property we financed. And we've got 4 partners involved in the beginning. They buy the property for, I think, $300,000. They take a whole year to rehab it. They put $150,000 into it. So a year later, comes up for maturity. We go look at it, and that's what it looks like. Too much difference between this and this. That's $150,000 later. Well, they haven't finished it. They've run out of money. So what they decided to do is take on more partners to bring in more money. So they got 3 more partners coming into the deal. 7 partners involved. Now the original 4 partners who have $150,000 into it, they think they're the ones who should be making the decisions. We have all this money into it. We've been in this project a year. We know what we need to do to get to the finish line. You got 3 new partners in the deal saying, we just brought in more money. You guys haven't completed the deal. That's why you're bringing us in. Our opinion should matter. We're the ones who should be making the decisions. Another year goes by. Another $50,000 in the property, and this is what it looks like still. So they end up taking a loss. They lose about $200,000 on the deal. When a lender gets involved in a deal, something has gone horribly wrong. The questions we ask is, all right, who's managing the contractors? Who's making the interest payments? Who's solving the problems when they come out? We want to know what partner does not have anything to lose in this deal. Who has no money in the deal? Who doesn't have the experience? And if this deal goes wrong, who's not going to end up losing anything. Those are the partners we want out of the partnership. Those are the partners that we do not want making any decisions, because those are the partners that are holding on to these strategies that may make some money, in 6 months or 12 months, but in reality, it's just going to most likely lose a lot more money on the deal. When a lender gets involved, we want to take the shortest route to the quickest amount of money. All right, let's talk about rehab. All right, caption challenge. If you were a real estate agent listing this property, how would you describe this bathroom? How would you describe this bathroom if you were listing this property as a real estate agent? Oh man, I haven't heard that one before. Accessible, easy access, open concept, bathroom with a view. This is a real bathroom, you guys. They got plumbing, they got the tile there, you can see. Something, right? All right. So here's another example. This property is in Phoenix, Arizona, in the Cherry Hill district. The Cherry Hill district is a historic district just north of downtown. Some of the homes, the neighborhood's historic, but not all the homes in the neighborhood are. There's homes from the 20s all the way up to the 50s. So I've got a new investor here. Her name is Nancy. She is a retired school bus driver. She's got some retirement money. She wants to flip a property. I said, great. Hey, everyone's got to start somewhere. She finds this deal, $280,000. So I go walk her. I go walk the property with her. I want to make sure that, I want to see where she's at on it, how organized she is. It's got good comps. There's a home, 3 or 4 homes down from this one on the same street that had just sold for $600,000. Now that was a historic home with tons of character, built in the 20s. This home was built in the 50s. I pull up and I go, this home has no character. So my first concern with Nancy is, we got to change the curb appeal. What ideas do you have to change the front of this house so when they drive up and see it for the first time, it says Historic Cherry Hill District? She had a few ideas. They weren't concrete. I didn't care for her answers, but she was still getting it at a good price. We walked through the house. It's got a choppy floor plan. Small kitchen. They had converted the garage to another bedroom. So it had like a drop-down living room. Huge backyard, but it was just overgrown at this point. But she had a contractor. And he had given a bid for $80,000. So I came back another day and I met the contractor. I liked the contractor. He had a design idea. He had experience with flip rehabs. So I said, great. I funded the deal. So about a month goes by. I don't hear from Nancy. I don't get any rehab requests, any draws. And I say, hey, Nancy, how's it going? I haven't heard from you. And she goes, oh, I'm actually at the property right now. I'm painting. I'm like, you're painting? Do you have any experience painting? She's like, no, I've never done it before. But, that $80,000, that just seemed like too much rehab. So I was going to try to save some money and do the rehab myself. I go, well, what about the flooring? Well, she's like, well, I'm going to watch some YouTube videos to figure out how to tile. Like, oh, this is not going to go well. So, but it's her house at this point. It's her house. I'm just the lender. This is the route she'd like to take, that she's going to take. And so I visit the house. A couple weeks later, I go visit the house, and it's half painted, and I could see exactly what happened. Nancy got in. She painted the back bedrooms. She started making her way down the hallway to the living room. She looked at the work that she had done, and she realized it had made zero difference. She had not done any drywall repairs before she painted. She had chosen an off blue color that it didn't look right. It wasn't, no value was added from the painting she had done. She had realized at that point she had gotten in over her head, and she decided to just put it on the market. She only ended up losing about $20,000 But the difference between a contractor's work and a homeowner's work is very different. So I hear a lot of first-time flippers say, hey, you know, I want to flip my first house. I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get my hands dirty. I'm going to, you know, save some money. I'm like, no, do you have any experience with the rehab? Because you're going to be rehabbing the house to add value, to try to increase the value of that house to make the profit. If you don't have any experience in that, there's a good chance you're going to get over your head. Here's the other one that I hear. Oh, I'm buying this house and I've got a brother-in-law that just got laid off and he has some construction background. He has a little construction experience. Well, the brother-in-law that just got laid off, yeah, it never turns out well as well. All right, any questions? Here's one of my own mistakes. This is a home in Mesa, Arizona. And right before I bought this home, I had flipped a historic home in Phoenix. And it had the original cabinetry in it. And it was these beautiful custom cabinets. The uppers had glass inserts, and they were like a white shaker style. The bottoms matched, but they were totally beat up. So I took the bottom, the base cabinets out, and I put in like a dark mahogany. And the kitchen popped. The home sold quickly. It was great. So I get another home. This one happens to be in Mesa, another historic home. And I've got all these leftover cabinets from all these different projects. So I've got my uppers white. I got some darker cabinets. I got a cherry cabinet, which I use as the island. And I said, let me try to replicate what I just did on this other home in this one. And once it went in all together, I was like, oh, this does not go well. I got white cabinets, I got brown cabinets, and I got a cherry cabinet. But I didn't stop. I said, well, let me get the granite in. I'm going to choose a granite that'll tie it in all together. So I put this kind of darker granite with a couple different tones in it. Nope, didn't make it look any better. So I sold the house, but I'm sure the people who bought it were thinking, well, I got to tear out this kitchen and put something in that makes sense. But don't cut corners. Don't cut corners in the rehab. It doesn't pay off. Your days on market is almost just as important as how much you're making on the deal. Because if you're doing certain rehab, you're cutting corners, your days on market will go up, your holding costs go up, your profit goes down. All right, budgets. So each contractor is different. What I've found is, unfortunately, contractors have expiration dates. I'll find a contractor that I like. We'll do 10 homes with him, 20 homes, whatever it is. At some point, the prices go up, the quality goes down, the time it takes to finish the project goes up. So what I like to do before we start on any deal is I want to look at his budget. I want to look at the estimate he's given me. Is he listing? So here's two estimates. This one on the right actually came over by text. The contractor texted me his estimate for the kitchen. He said $15,000 for the kitchen. Oh, full remodel for the bathrooms, $20,000 total for both. And then I have this other estimate from another contractor that lists everything out. Change orders are deal killers. When you have a contractor in there that's ripping out the kitchen and he goes, oh, I didn't charge you for repairing the drywall after I took the cabinets out. That's going to be an addition. Oh, I didn't charge you for the electrical outlets in the backsplash. You know, that wasn't part of that $15,000 that I texted you. I love budgets that list out itemized as many items as possible. My rule of thumb is for every $10,000 in a rehab budget should be 1 page of an estimate. A $50,000 deal should be 5 pages. Do contractors like to list out everything they're going to do? No. So you got to get them. You got to press them. Say, hey, I need everything listed out so we're not talking about more money in the future about something I already thought I paid for. Here's the second part. As soon as it comes up. Oh, rehab estimate. This is something that I put together a few years back, and surprisingly, we almost use it every day in the office as lenders. I need to get a quick rehab estimate on a property. So I say, all right, what's the size and what year was it built? If it was built before 1959 for a full rehab, I'm not doing any additions. I'm not putting any walls down, but I'm replacing the flooring, paint, all the bathrooms and kitchen, making it look brand new. I'm at about $40 a square foot at homes before 1959. At homes 2,000 or more, I'm at about $25 a square foot. So 1,800 square foot house that was built in 1950, I'm at about $72,000. I'm just guessing there. I'm estimating. And then a home that was built, say, 2005 at $25 a square feet, that's like $45,000 for a full remodel. I just need a quick number to put on a property. This is the estimate that I use. All right, contractors work. This is 4 bathrooms that we've been the lender on all 4 of these deals. What's interesting about these bathrooms is, and why I specifically chose them, is each one of the shower combinations cost $1,800. The investor paid the contractor $1,800 to do the tile in each of these bathrooms. But you can see there's a big difference between the quality of work. Kind of got like a builder grade here, lower end, all the way up to these 2 on the right is a high-end bathroom. $1,800 for each of them. So it's good to see pictures of work that your contractor has done. When I get referrals for contractors, I like to see the work that they've done or go visit a job site where they're at and see what they're doing. I heard that you should look at the contractor's truck. How dirty is the contractor's truck? The contractor has a really dirty truck with trash in it. That's a good sign that that's going to be your job site in a few weeks. All right, managing contractors. So this is a deal we funded in Houston. There was a house here, and so they take their first rehab draw, send some pictures. Just the demo inside the house is done. $4,000 or $5,000. We approve the draw. A few weeks go by, they submit another draw request, and this is the picture I get. And I go, something has changed. And I talked to the contractor, and he goes, well, when we were doing the demo, we realized it would be, the investor could make more money if we did a scrape and new build. And I go, well, that wasn't in the original plans. What does the investor say? Well, the investor trusts me. The investor's going with what I'm telling him. And so we stopped, all the rehab on this. We're like, we don't want to be a part of this project anymore. You guys totally changed what's going on. The investor doesn't have control of the project, then contractor does. So we want the contractor out of the picture because we're not lending him the money, we're lending the investor the money. So all right, here's one of the most important things that I want from a contractor before we start work: a timeline. This is for a project here in Dallas. I want to know exactly what time and date we're starting that demo, and I've got it on my timeline. And then every single part of that rehab, I want to put on this timeline. Will this change? Absolutely. But let's at least start with something. Let's know what date are we starting the demo? What date will windows be installed? What date will the bathrooms be started? What date will the kitchen cabinets go in? What date can I tell my real estate agent, hey, get it ready for staging on this date. You're going to get keys on this date. We're going to have it's going to go on the market and have an open house on this date. From the beginning, we have all our dates planned out. When they change, we're going to change the timeline, but we're never going to forget about the timeline. Contractors don't like doing this. They're going to push back. What I like to do is put money when I'm making my payment to the contractor will be tied in to items on my timeline. So the contractor wants 50% to start. Well, I go, how about I buy I'm not going to give you 50% because you haven't done any work. You know, I'll pay you for your labor as your labor gets done. I can go out and buy the materials myself. So once demo's done, you know, you'll get a piece. Once painting's done, you'll get a piece. Once bathroom's done, you'll get your next section. We're both on the same page to start. If the timeline changes, that's fine. But when he gets paid and doesn't change, he still has to get a part of that portion done before he's going to get his part. All right, rehab design. There's two thoughts about rehabbing a house. Very common question I get. What can I rehab in this house to get the most value out of it? What should I do? How much money should I put in to get the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time? That's what everybody wants when they're flipping a house. I want the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time. And there's two trains of thoughts. Here's the first one. I want to be creative. I want to use my imagination. I want to design a house that no one has ever seen before, that no one in this neighborhood has ever seen before. I want to be original. Here's the other train of thought. Copy, 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 and copy. What has someone else has done before me that has made money, that has sold, and I'm going to copy what they've already done. They have already shown me what buyers are buying in that neighborhood at what price. So I just want to copy what they're doing. There are successful real estate investors on both sides. But for a first-time investor, someone who's flipping a home for the first time, I say, don't get creative. Don't go buy the historic home that needs to move walls and you have to do the, you know, all these different architectural stuff to bring in the character. Keep it simple. Buy something at a good price that just needs lipstick on a pig, just a cosmetic update. Copy what someone else has done before you. Get through one so you see the whole process. And then on that second one or the third one, you know, go out and buy that home where you're going to try to stick out and be original. When I buy a home to flip, I ask myself a simple question. Do I want to fit in with the neighborhood or do I need to stand out in the neighborhood? What will make me the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time? There are some homes where, especially if it's like a historic neighborhood, I keep talking about historic neighborhoods, a neighborhood that has a wide range of comps. There's a home that'll sell for $250,000 and $850,000 in the same neighborhood, depending on the quality of rehab. Those are great neighborhoods to target if you want to do creative, original flip. But if you're buying a home up in Frisco where everything's from 1995 to 2000 in that same neighborhood, you're not going to do something creative in that neighborhood. You're just going to copy what someone has already done, do nice, high quality rehab, and it's going to sell the quickest because they're already showing you what the buyer's pool is in that neighborhood. All right, so some phrases that I use: rehab design, comp standard, comp unique. So am I fitting in? Am I standing out? When I talk to someone who's buying a flip, I say, is this going to be a comp standard home or comp unique? The rehab quality, I have 3 levels: a low, a middle, and a high. I call it builder grade is my low end. It's just a builder grade. Mid-level is high quality materials, but you're not moving any walls. You're not doing any additions. You're not standing out. Then you have a high end, which is the highest level materials. You're getting an interior designer in there. You're maximizing the value for that neighborhood. The rehab amount, the amount of rehab. Am I doing cosmetic? The most popular flip that I did from 2008 to 2011, we called it carpet paint granite, CPG. Carpet paint granite, CPG on the market. Carpet paint granite, clean it on the market. I buy it, 2 weeks later, it's on the market. I'm just putting lipstick on a pig. Full rehab, you're rehabbing everything in the house, but you're not moving any walls, you're not doing any additions. And then add value, you're doing something to the home to add significant value to that home, like an addition. When someone's flipping a home for the first time, I say you want a comp standard home, builder grade, cosmetic. Comp standard, builder grade, cosmetic. Don't get in and over your head for this first flip. Just get through that process for the first time so you can see where things go wrong and right. The biggest thing for a first-time investor is fear of the unknown. What can go wrong in this deal? How can I lose money? And then a lot of times, even if someone breaks even on that first property, it gives them the confidence to say, all right, I've seen the whole process. I know how to replicate it now. And now I want to buy as many properties and flip as many properties as I possibly can. For someone, I say just a rule of thumb, if you flip 10 properties, you're going to make between, say, 10 and 20,000 on 8 of them. On one of them, you're going to hit a home run. One of them, you're going to lose money. You want to make sure that your home run is a lot more than that loss. And if you happen to lose on your first deal, you're never going to flip another home again. All right, my name's Andrew Bang. I'm with Boomerang Capital. I'm on Instagram. There's my email there. I teach to network. That's my cell phone. You can call me anytime. I want to add value to what you're already doing. My background is not hard money loans. It is my focus now, but I don't come at it as a mortgage lender or a commercial banker like other hard money lenders. When I look at a property, I look at it as if I were flipping it myself. Very upfront. If you're buying a home that I don't think has any margin in it, I'm going to say, why are you buying this property? I only see comps right here. You have to put this much amount of rehab into it to get it to that comp. And I think the only person that's going to make money in this deal is your real estate agent, your contractor, and me, your lender. There's nothing left in it for you. There's plenty of homes out there. Let's go find another one. Over the last 2 years, I've done over 1,100 1,100 properties. I did 487 loans last year right here in Texas. Anything that I can do to add value or to help you out on your journey, I am here to help. Is there any questions? So I live in Phoenix. We have an office in Houston that I use when I'm there. So I travel a lot. I am the Texas lender for Boomerang. About every other week, I'm in a different city. No, I was sitting in an office behind a desk looking at a computer screen. It's a job that I hope I never have to do ever again. Yeah, my typical deals they're in between 100,000 and $1 million. Single family flips. You can use, I only have one loan. You could use it for a buy and hold as well. You just have to refinance me out once the rehab's done and get a renter in there. I've financed deals over $1 million. It just takes a little longer. Homes in between that 100,000 and $1 million. It just takes me a couple hours to put everything together. When I say a couple hours, to do the loan docs and everything. So if you had a property you had to close this afternoon and your lender falls through, I could close it.
You charge an application fee, and then what is your typical interest for the 100?
Yeah, it's no application fee. I charge 1 point for loan origination. That's paid at closing it through title. That's my only fee. I don't charge anything for attorney fees or processing or loan docs. There's no junk fees. I'm at 12% interest. I give my best terms to everybody right from the start. The easiest way to look at it is 1% up front, 1% a month, interest only payment. A $100,000 loan is $1,000 for me to put it together, and you have $1,000 interest only payment until you flip that property or refinance me out.
Andrew, we did have one request online.
Yeah.
To get a copy of the template of your timeline.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and if anybody wants that, just drop your information in the chat box, or I'm sure.
I got an email up on the screen, andrew@boomerangcapital.com. Yeah, I'll share that template with you. I also keep a list of active wholesalers in DFW and Houston. So if you'd like those lists, be glad to share those with you. Wholesalers that I've worked with, that I know, that I trust. Not all wholesalers are the same, just like not all real estate agents or contractors are the same. So Be glad to provide that. And then rehab estimates, templates, I've got them all.
How do you find that people get, what is the best source to get the best amount of ROI? Is it like direct mail? Is it knocking doors? Like, what have you found in this industry? Because a lot of them, they don't need a lot of meat on the bone,
Mm-hmm.
especially like, I don't want to name drop, but there's some companies out there that like, you know, they buy like really good prices and then they mark them up.
Yeah.
Pretty good amounts, and there's no meat left on them. So it's like, what have you found that is kind of the best way to get some of these deals, like home run deals?
Yeah. So direct to owner, you're going to get your best deals, right? You got to get in direct to owner. You got to get into someone's house that owns the house and make them a deal, make them an offer directly to them, right? So wholesalers have good deals. Not all of them are great. Some of them just work for rentals. But yeah, if you're on all the wholesalers lists, you got to comp the properties and find the property that works. That said, I've seen a lot of investors make a lot of money just focusing on wholesaler deals. When I was flipping homes, I did billboards, I did the PPC, I did paid per click, you know, getting Google to do your Google ads on the side. Google, yeah. The thing that I liked the most was door flyers. So if there's a company that would put, I think 7 cents to put a flyer on a door, and they do 1,500 doors in a day. So I'd get a text in the morning that says, hey, we're about to put all your flyers on doors. And then I don't answer my phone that whole day because you get so many angry people calling you, especially older people saying, why did you put a flyer on my door? I had a no soliciting sign. But I got the most leads from those. Months later, I'd get a call, say, hey, I heard you buy homes. I've got to, I got to sell my house. It's in rough shape or whatever. And I'd go into their house and do an inspection, and I'd see my flyer up on their refrigerator. Happened numerous times. So my best return on money was always door flyers, but it was also, I'd get the most negative calls from those. You know,
Never, no litigiousness from any of those things or near incidents and stuff like that.
I never did.
Most of the time, a lot of guys are like, hey, why don't you just do this? I don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
And tell people, hey, you're probably not going to get sued. But just want to hear what you do.
Yeah, I never did. Yeah. I'd get the angry phone calls. I'd get the phone call that says, you put a flyer on my door, take me off your list. I'm not going to give you my name or my address. You found me once, you got to find me again. I'm like, well, you're going to get another flyer in a few weeks here.
All right. Let's make this the last question. We have one more. This was from online, and it's basically pretty broad. Is the market still favorable for flipping out, buying, and holding?
Yeah, absolutely. The market slowed down. We had 2 slowdowns in the last year. April, we saw the first one where the multiple offers stopped coming in. And then we saw the biggest hit in October once those interest rates got over 7. Even though, it's not directly related to people who are flipping homes because my hard money has always stayed the same interest because we're not tied into that. But, we saw a huge slowdown in October. But it's gotten better. We're seeing homes have lower days on market already. It's still, I wouldn't say going up, still at least a flat market, and we might have a little more drop. But there's some deals out there because the people who are selling have to sell. They don't want to sell. Yeah. And so there's a lot of properties out there that will accept a low offer because they have to sell because something's going on in their life. So it's a good time to look for deals. Absolutely.
Always nice to capitalize on misery.
Yeah. People have problems, and if you have a solution, that equals a house.
That's right. You're a solution provider. That's what it is. All right. We'll wrap up there. Andrew's going to be around. So for those of you here, you can speak one-off with him. But I do want to now open it up for some deal pitching. And to start us off, I'm going to invite Ken up here. Yeah, clap. Come on. So Ken was a recent guest at one of our events last month. And he was here for the purposes of learning about real estate and the speaker we had at the time. But when I spoke to Ken, he told me about another venture that he's working on. And it happens to be something that is becoming a little more popular here. He has a very interesting product, and his company is actually looking for private investment. So this would fall under the category of private entities, private company stock. And so we invited him here back and want to give him a little chance to talk about the product. And again, don't forget our online audience. Anybody online, if you are interested, if you drop your information into the chat box, we'll make sure it gets to Ken if you do want to follow up and learn more about the opportunity.
Great. All right. Thank you. So I'm Ken Lehman. I am a board member and investor in a startup company called Intelligent Cranium Helmets. And like Steve mentioned, we're looking for funding, but we are building the world's most intelligent and safest motorcycle helmet. A lot of the technology that is in automobiles has not made it to the motorcycle industry yet. So we're bringing all that technology in a helmet so that they can transfer it from one bike to the next. In this helmet, it's got GPS and it's got a heads-up display so the rider can be navigated wherever they want to go. It's got crash detection so that if the rider is in an accident, it's going to call 911. It's going to call their emergency contact to let them know. And not only let them know, but tell them exactly where they're located. It's got a camera in the front, as you can see, so the rider can record their ride and post it on social media. It's got 2 cameras in the back. Why would you say that? There's 2 cameras in the back so that the rider through the heads-up display can see their blind spots. They can see what's on the left of them, on the right of them, and behind them. It's also got proximity sensors that let the rider know if somebody's getting too close to the sides of them or to the back of them. There's no buttons, there's no knobs, there's no controls because everything's voice activated. They talk to the helmet just like you would Siri or Google or your Android phone. You can control everything through your voice on this, and you can also control your mobile phone because there's a mobile app that also is linked to the helmet. So you can stream music, you can send and receive calls, you can talk to other riders that are riding with you, all through your phone, and you can control other mobile apps on your phone as well. The demand for this is huge. We've already pre-sold over 300 helmets. We've raised $175,000 on Kickstarter in 72 hours. So the demand is out there, and this goes beyond just the motorcycle industry. We have plans to go into auto racing. We've already had a prominent auto racing company reach out to us. They want us to develop one for their auto racing. We also have plans to go into military and law enforcement as well. So what are we looking for? We're looking for investors to help us push this over the finish line. We only have 15% of the tooling and software development to do yet, and then we're into production. So we're in the last mile of developing this helmet. So we're looking for investors that want to come in. We're not a startup company that has an idea written on a napkin. We're way beyond that stage, right? We're at the end. So it's a good time for investors to come in. It's not as risky for your investment. And it's your potential to turn thousands into millions by investing in this. So if you want to get more information, I'm in the back there. I also have a flyer that you can take with you. You can see the helmet. Don't touch the helmet. This is actually not the real helmet. This is a mock-up of the helmet. The real helmet is carbon fiber. It's about 1/5 of the weight of a normal helmet, and it's a lot stronger than a normal helmet. So this, they don't trust me with the real thing. So anyway, come in the back. Also, if you're online, like they said, you can post a message and we'll get information to you. But our website is ichelmets.com. I for intelligent, C for cranium, helmets.com, ichelmets.com. Thanks a lot. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thank you. Yeah, when he told me about that, I was really intrigued by it, not being a rider myself, but you know, I can imagine that there's pretty significant interest in that. And I assume you can use it for a snowmobile too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Anything that drives that you need a helmet for.
A convertible. Yeah. Now, somebody actually told me one time with snowmobiling, one of the biggest problems that they had with it was the weight of the helmet too. So anyway, all right, I'm going to open the floor with the time we have left. Anyone else who just wants to come up and talk about anything that they are working on, that they're looking for investment for, or opportunities they may be looking for themselves? All right, our good friend DeLorean, take it away.
Thank you. My name is DeLorean, like the car from Back to the Future. I do apartment investing. We find the deal, we do due diligence on the deal, we manage the deal, and in 3 to 5 years, we look to double investor money. You can reach me at multifamilyabc@gmail.com, or you can call or text 214-277-3902. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Lydia, your turn.
Thank you much. Excuse me, Lydia Miller. I'm a kind of investor of all stripes. I've got a 2-2 that was originally a duplex and could be again in Fair Park in Dallas for $115. If people are interested, come see me after.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So I think we'll end it there. We want to thank our online audience and thank all you guys for coming in here, braving the weather. There's plenty of food that's still left, so don't go empty-handed. And again, want to thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Great having you back as part of our speaking series again. I'm glad we were able to get you so quickly. And again, thank you everyone for participating in our Lunch and Learn.